James is eating soup and shrimp. And we're going to talk about White God, which got top of the stack rating. The Fade season 1, and then Patrick. But you know what? All of these movies I would say are worth watching. And The Fade is a TV series, not a movie. And I didn't expect to like it at all. For the first almost half of the disc, the 2-disc set. So the first half of the show, I was like, I don't know if I want to bother keep watching this. It just didn't seem that interesting, and it seemed like, although it was made in, I think it says 2015 or something. Just a minute. I don't know. 2012. It seemed really low budget for BBC. I mean, I realized that the Doctor Who was originally BBC and really low budget. So, but I mean, nowadays you don't expect that, right? You don't expect that kind of thing.
They're
like
a public broadcaster. They've got money just coming in.
Sure. And this show, it seemed like they were wearing their own clothes, and they were like, okay, we're going to have to shoot the scenes in your own bedrooms and stuff like that. You know what? It just seemed really low budget. But there's actually an interesting story there. And it's kind of a zombie angel movie, or series, which is kind of interesting, kind of different, and worth watching. So, and the way it's left off here, you're thinking, okay, well, there's got to be another season then, right? Or this is going to go somewhere from there. And it says season 1, and I actually look forward to seeing season 2. I've never even heard of this thing until just now. I picked it up the other day and thought I'd give it a go. So that one got second in the stack, even though it seemed low budget and whatever. And this one, Patrick, like, I have 2 dog shows here. And this one is another British sort of production, and
I'm amazed
the dog,
that little dog
is
isn't
so
overweight.
awesome.
You know
and
what
I
I'm
thought
saying?
for sure he would be top of the stack because it is great to watch. He's so great. This
And
dog
his
is
name
so great.
Patrick.
Yeah,
Patrick the pug.
he's so good.
And like I say, I'm shocked he's not overweight because he'd be getting treated all the time.
Everyone would want to treat him because he's so great. And he does a great job in this show. And also, what's her name is in this? Oh dear. You know what, I can't... Jennifer Saunders. So, that was kind of cool to see.
Where do I know her from? I don't know.
French and Saunders, or Absolutely Fabulous.
Oh, Absolutely Fabulous.
Yeah. So this was from 2018, and this is a movie that you could watch with your kids, and I think, like, I would have loved watching this when I was young. Whatever age, honestly, because, I mean, who doesn't want to watch a dog doing awesome, cute things all the time?
He actually does awesome stuff and just doesn't look good.
Great. So great, yeah. He knows how to press the thing to make the garbage lid open so that he can eat out of the garbage on his own. He's so great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's just the most awesome dog. And they really did this movie well. So the fact that this is the bottom of my stack really says nothing. I think you can see from what I'm saying, I love this movie. So, this movie, another dog movie, not one you would want your children to watch, I would say. Very, but an important movie to make. They did a great job doing it. I should say maybe it's a story that Hungarian children watch, seeing as the girl in the story, this is a story about her and her dog, and she is young. Like, how old would you say that girl is? Not very old, right? But
she's not in her teens,
she looks so young. Maybe 9, I would say.
Okay,
but I don't know. Maybe 10. Sure, somewhere around there. And she plays the trumpet, and her dad has really pushed her hard so that she'll be in an orchestra, right? And she's playing with older people. There's not very many young people in the orchestra playing with her. And here she is, but she has this dog that she loves. Her dad does not love the dog, and
Maybe I can get you the
horrible things happen.
Sure.
Horrible things happen in this movie. Unbelievably horrible. There's dog fights. There's all sorts of not things that I would say a child should ever watch.
No one should ever watch a dog fight. But,
yeah, but
especially if they're petting. Okay.
Sure. But honestly, this movie is so great. It has its subtitles, and you know what I say about subtitles. I'm writing poetry this whole time, right? So that's what I do while I'm watching these movies, or I'm cooking, or I'm doing whatever. I'm not watching the movies 100% of the time, usually. And I like a movie that I can do that too. I can write poems and then whatever. But with subtitle movies, you can't. You got to give it all of your attention. And honestly, as much as I love watching movies, I love doing almost anything else more. So this is, for me, movies, I like the art form. I like that it can sit in the background while I'm doing whatever. While I'm doing my own art or whatever, right? So the fact that this got top of the stack, even though it's a subtitle movie and it's 2 hours long, that says a lot. This movie is awesome, and if you can stomach anybody who loves dogs, and the only people who would watch this movie are dog lovers. So, because it's not one of those pro dog fighting movies or anything like that, but they show stuff. And so anybody who loves dogs and can take the heart-wrenching violence and stuff, they would love to watch this movie. I think they would benefit from watching it, as long as they are an adult and can handle such things, because you're going to see dog fights. It's scary. It's horrible. And it's out there. So, anyway, that's all I had, and I can read you my poem that I was working on this morning. But it's going to be for a post. I'm putting a blog post out on the Alaska highway trip that we did, and it just has a few sites just from along the highway. I had other posts that I put out that had, specifically places that we went to off the highway, right? But this was just the highway itself.
Do you have Enterprise on there?
What?
Do you have Enterprise as one of the places we went through?
I no.
Okay.
I'll read my poem then.
Okay, I'll just preface it. Anyone who was formerly in Enterprise, we really feel for you. I think it's on the stretch just as you get into Yukon.
Okay, I remember that.
Out.
Yeah, I remember that.
Got burned out the last few days.
For them.
There may be 6 houses there or something like that. We really feel for you guys. Really,
that's tough, especially going into winter. What do you do? I guess they're not going to be there. We're going to have to come south for the winter. So, anyway, because what a time. I mean, when we were traveling through, I'll read my poem and then we'll talk about this a little bit more. So, here's my poem called The Alaska Highway, which I wrote this morning, September 24th, 2023, while I was watching the end of The Fades, Season 1. Because once I turned on, I planned to write another one, but once I turned on White God, couldn't write poems. I had to watch it constantly, and it was worth it. Anyway, here's my poem, The Alaska Highway. I've been Grand Prairie poor, where I lived as a teen. I've been wandering for 3 long decades. I'd been heading south to escape what I'd known, that the wealthy are fed by the poor through this hell with Alaska ahead. Would I get there as well? Since my age and my courage have grown, I've now traveled there too, to the Yukon last year, as Americans do. I had plenty of fear, since up north there, I felt quite alone, though James sat by my side. The long winter was near. We'd have nowhere to hide if it came. That was clear. But that trip last October has shown me I don't have to stay serving burgers and fries to the rich on their way to Alaska. Those guys ride a highway I now also So that's my poem. Hope
That
you
was
like
quite
it.
an adventure.
It was.
We knew that we had to get across the Rocky Mountains,
Yeah.
way up there, in a week.
Yeah, well,
We
yeah,
did. We had to get a very good
we were on a
weather.
schedule. We knew we weren't going to Alaska because we left it until around this time,
Yep.
right? This time of year. So it was October, and they have signs everywhere saying snow tires are mandatory and this and that, right? Because they're not used to having weather like this. We're not used to having weather like this in this time of year. James's tomatoes are still growing strong, which is wild. Usually we have frost in early September. Knocks everything out, but the past couple of years, it's been great.
What is it, the 24th?
Yeah, like last year we had, I don't think we had a frost until just before or right around Halloween, which is crazy.
I love that. If that happens this year, I'll be so ecstatic.
You never know. But yeah, so we were traveling through to the Yukon through the Alaska on the Alaska Highway, and there aren't that many people traveling on the Alaska Highway in October. It's probably a lot different if you go early July or something like that, mid-July. But honestly, I don't think that it could have been more beautiful had we went in July. I think it was lovely.
It was great because
we didn't have to worry about mosquitoes. Yeah, so we were able to sleep in the car with the windows open and no problem. Mm-hmm. It was wonderful, and we saw the northern lights one night from the where we were sleeping.
And of course, we were out in the boonies, so it was spectacular.
Yeah, yeah. There's nothing to block the northern lights. It's just right there, bright. Mm-hmm. And I think the only reason we didn't see it all of the nights were there was overcast nights. I think that probably had a difference, or made a difference. But what a fantastic trip. And one day, if able, we will go all the way to Alaska. See?
So that's quite possibly the best trip that you and I shared.
Yeah, it was. It was awesome. It all worked out. I mean, we went on a lot of trips before where there's funnel clouds in the sky while we're leaving a hike. And that's happened more than once. Or like huge hailstorms and stuff. That just when we're finishing and we get in the car, it's like, boom. Yeah, and then it's like all along, we have to stop the car because you can't see anything. There's so much hail and it's coming down so hard. Anyway.
I'm not sure about the funnel clouds. Maybe you saw one, but there were people looking for them. They were looking for tornadoes. There were a group called the Twisted Sisters or something like that.
Yeah. Well, we just saw them starting to come, but they weren't doing anything.
Well, what happened was...
you don't remember.
Well, I remember driving along. Yeah. We were going north trying to get up
that one we got hail too, didn't we? Yeah.
So that was when we were in grasslands. You know, it was a kind of day where we were driving west, and it kind of clouded.